Hello, I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and today I'm joined by Batcraft. Wait, you're on the wrong show, Batcraft. This is a Star Wars show. What are you doing?
Well, someone actually has a movie in theaters, Jason.
Spoilers, his parents get killed.
Just like Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, and that's why he's afraid of bats.
Just like Luke Skywalker.
So today
hold on.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Luke and a bat in the same scene? You haven't, have you?
No.
You haven't seen it. See it?
No, not that you mention it. By Empire Strikes Back, though, it did look like he got beat with a bat. I will say that much.
Oh,
it happened though. Yeah, so today we have a pretty fun story about, will there be a post-credit scene in Star Wars Kenobi? So if you don't want to know, and if you don't want to know what it is, if there is one, then this episode's not for you. Today's a channel member only day. You can become a channel member for $5, and it's helps support the channel, and yeah, helps me get around and do stuff.
Please leave the show. Let it run to the end. Even if you don't, you're tired of it, you hate it. You're like, I can't stand these guys. I got my info. I want out. That's fine, but just let the show play, because that feeds the algorithm, and it gets us, instead of 100 views, like 105. But it helps.
106 maybe today. Maybe we'll get 106.
Every week we get some new person who's like, I just found your show, and then I start shit with them. So like, you give me something to do around here.
It's how he shows love. It's how he shows love.
It's how he shows. I don't have anything
that you matter to.
I'm not even, Jason. I'm not even here. I'm a ghost. Like I have nothing.
I know but you've always been with me. That's the weird part. It's only when I get in high spirits that I can hear you, though. You know what I mean? That's the only way. That's how it works. Which is a great Steve Guttenberg movie. If you love Gutenberg, you'll love High Spirits.
I do, bro. You are talking my Hollywood video rental days. Yes.
Okay. I am hitting publish right now, and we'll have to see if I have a bunch of typos, because I think I will.
Oh, you know you got them.
I think I will. I did my best, guys. I did my best. I'm just getting too excited.
It's not for lack of trying.
I try. I swear. I really do. Okay, so right here we got our new Making Star Wars logo. Thanks to Rob. It's all pretty. Now the Fandom Menace can't say, what do they call me? Star Making Wars from the old logo.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Star Empire Strikes Back Wars? Ah! But
you think if this logo was up when Ahmed Best's publicist was checking out the site, they would have took it as serious as they did? I
don't know. He kind of doing the Nickelodeon style Star Wars show for a little bit. Maybe he'd been like, "Hey, this is our home."
You know what? I think he'd be an excellent host to bring back Double Dare.
I think so too. I think it's time. I want Double Dare to come back while my kids are old enough to go on it, because we will win. I mean, those parents were idiots.
I'm not gonna lie. Before we break this down, my favorite Double Dare was Family Double Dare. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I want to be on it.
Yeah, it was prime time, right? Fox at night.
And flag. I don't care.
I want Lucas's new family versus Ron Howard's family.
Oh, you want celebrity family Double Dare is what you're calling for.
Well, you look, the pilot, you got to open up with something big. Then we can get on to us dumb schlubs. But
I'm thinking not celebrity versus celebrity. I'm thinking celebrity family Double Dare versus average Joes. So that way I could go on and I could go up against the Howards, and then I could get something right, and she could just be like, I directed it. I'm directing the next episode, and I'm janging that now. You're wrong. And I'll just be like, all right. I guess Din Djarin doesn't have a mustache anymore.
My original pick was going to be the Smith family, but if you lose, you might get It's not
I could take a punch. I'm not scared. Dell is getting his notification 2 minutes after. Thank you so much and hello, Batorian. We got a bat kid here.
Congrats.
And Soundwave, how's it going, Soundwave? Good to see everybody, especially the old channel members like Baymax. I appreciate that. and Dell in Star Wars canon.
Soundwave is awaiting spoilers. Hurry the fuck up.
Hurry up. Hurry up. Yeah.
It's a pretty good sound wave. Never tried it before. First try.
I think you got it. So
No
here's
modulators.
the video that you're watching.
All right.
Look, directed by Deborah Chow. You get it? See what I did there? See what I did?
Nice graphic, by the way. I didn't do that, but nice.
Thank you.
It
so
needs you going. Whoa! Needs a photo of you there going. Whoa!
Wait. What? Oh shit!
Now you're appeasing the YouTube guy.
I'm a success on YouTube. Big dick in mouth. Or is it a sandwich? I don't know. Either way, I bit off more than I can chew with this video. Okay.
I really feel like Kevin Smith would be right at home around here. You know?
All right, here we go. I'm gonna zoom in on this a little bit because I have that power. Okay, will they or won't they? How do you I got really punny in this article. I kind of apologize. I had to scale it back a little bit. I was this close to being like Star Wars is back. Like, had it just gone a little bit wrong, I would have been like, Star Wars is back. Force Ghost Meg. We got a force fight going on.
We do.
Ghost. How's it going, Meg? How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Good to see you, Rob. Fellow Force Ghost.
Hey, fellow Force Ghost. You know, I unlike Meg, I really couldn't stand that scene in Revenge of the Sith where they were both just holding hands at one another. Like, I was
why
like,
do you
come on,
think
guys.
I don't think Meg likes it either. I think Meg's like.
Did you like that? I thought you said you liked you liked that one.
Which scene are we talking about?
The Battle of Heroes, Revenge of the Sith, when they were like both holding hands out at one another and like.
That was quite funny. I mean, I didn't realize it at that age.
It's funny, right?
It was funny.
Yeah.
It's funny, but all right.
Yeah.
So here's my stupid article. How do you introduce a character who needs no introduction? That is the challenge with Darth Vader. While he needs no introduction, he usually seems to have a pretty good, if not perfect, entrance into his stories on screen. For the first time ever, it sounds like Darth Vader has found himself as post-credits material. It isn't just a sound effect of that fresh breath of his either. It's a post-credits introduction for Anakin Skywalker from a certain point of view. Last year, a set for Darth Vader's bacta tank was built in Southern California, and the introduction of Darth Vader was shot for Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. A trusted source who squirts and never leaks, who has seen the rest of the squirted Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi footage, confirmed the existence of the scene, and crew members confirmed such moments do happen in this series. It was confirmed the footage was shot as post-credits material, so that's the important thing. As Kenobi begins to discover himself and his powers in Chapter 2, let's just say there is clearly a disturbance in the Force. After Kenobi and 10-year-old Princess Leia are reunited, this triggers our first post-credit scene. And then the moment, you see a bunch of letters on screen, you know what these are, right? These things. And so the source says we see some murky water, and then the ugly eye of Anakin Skywalker opens into frame. We are left with the ominous feeling Kenobi and Organa have awoken the beast. The only problem is you won't see more until the next thrilling episode of Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. It is Anakin Skywalker in his bacta tank being jolted awake by the presence of his old master. Then you see more letters. Those letters make up names. Those are credits. The next chapter. This information lines up perfectly with the scene I know was shot over the spring and summer of last year, which I figured was the start of Chapter 3 and Vader's formal introduction to the limited series. The word was we would see a burned Anakin Skywalker on a table, limbless, in agony, as his body parts are reconnected and reactivated. I should have added by droids, but you get it. It was mentioned to me this is how Darth Vader begins his day. So it's not the post-battle damage, but rather the Sith Lord's version of morning coffee. This is a bit of speculation here, but I think it stands to reason that at the end of the second episode, Obi-Wan rescues Princess Leia Organa. We have our happy ending until the credits where Darth Vader awakens. Then in the third episode, we see with Darth Vader being assembled and the stakes are raised, as this Terminator is now after them. So basically, episode 2, eye opens up. It's Darth Vader. Episode 3, he's getting put back together, and it's on. So it appears we know the post-credits sequence with Darth Vader and his formal introduction to the 3rd chapter, if my order of events is correct. We technically see Anakin before Darth Vader from a certain point of view. I have to say, I can imagine this moment being pretty amazing. It's a smart choice to show audiences it is Anakin behind the mask from the very start. And that is who Obi-Wan knows, which speaks to the personal nature of their conflict. And then I tell people to watch this video and to subscribe to this channel and all that kind of jazz. And then I summon Max. How's it going, Max?
Hey guys.
All right.
Sorry I'm late.
No,
As
you're fashionably
usual.
late. That's what we expect.
Hey Meg, hey Rob.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So
Listening to Jason's awesome article.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
started listening.
does that all seem coherent? Did you catch it all, Max? Basically, we have Darth Vader. We have Obi-Wan Kenobi saving Leia, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the episode. And then Obi-Wan's like getting his mojo back. He's using the Force and stuff. And that's what makes the eye of Anakin open up like, oh shit, it's him. I'm gonna get him. Oh yeah. Wrestling time, it's on.
Wrestling,
And then
yes.
yeah, and then I am connecting this that it's most likely the very next scene that we'll see in next week's episode. At least when we catch up with Darth Vader anyway, is him being put back together by droids on the table. And you see why this guy is such an asshole every day. He doesn't get a morning paper. He doesn't get to go take a morning deuce and just really just relax. None of that happens. He has a colostomy bag, I'm sure. And it's just bad times. So
poor guy.
yeah.
So when you think of it, the reason they're doing the celebration thing is for this big reveal at the end.
I don't know. Do you think so?
I think so. I think that's why they're screening it at Celebration.
Well, welcome to Celebration, everyone.
So everyone can go ape shit crazy.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
think so.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of smart to put the eyeball there. Let us see Anakin first, too.
Mm-hmm.
You've always seen
'cause-
Revenge of the Sith by this point, in theory.
Yeah. It'll be good. Because
Yeah, Jason, it's a colonoscopy droid. Actually, it's they have those colon. I don't know the fucking word. Jason.
What is
Come on,
that?
I'm not a tech guy.
Colonoscopy. It's my
Could
new
you-
it's my new rap name.
could you explain what that is, Rob?
It's a droid that carries your shit.
Ah,
The shit droids.
very
Well,
stinky.
It's a Kurtz 2000. So
Sick.
stupid.
So nasty.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm glad you got that one out, bud. I'm happy for you.
I had a friend that had one of those for a little
Jeez.
while.
It does not sound fun.
No, I just
mean,
touched the bag.
mm,
she
Yeah.
laughed.
but
That's not nice.
I'm still laughing.
yeah, no, I'm curious. I'm also just like curious about like things like tone and stuff because you have Darth Vader and you have Leia, and she's being held inside of a spice den, and then he has to fight. Obi-Wan has to fight his way in. He can't just go straight out on the Jedi and just tear the place up and leave. He's got to solid snake it a little bit. He's got to sneak around and he's got to use the blaster. And we've actually seen a shot of the aftermath of him in the trailer. When he's up on the rooftop on Dayu, he's like shooting the gun. They end up going on top of like a big rooftop chase from the spice den, from what I understand. And
So, Jason, he senses Anakin from across the universe, or he's like within range?
no, it's across the universe, like the Beatles song.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that strong.
Like a presence he hasn't felt since.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just what?
So he's been looking for him. They've been looking for him. No one can find him. So we do have, in a weird way, I'm curious to see how many like people will start freaking out and crying alligator tears about this, but it's not unlike Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi and the end of Force Awakens. He's completely like cut himself off from the Force, and but it's not in the same way as Luke, from what I can gather. Like from what I understand, or the way I understand it, which could be wrong, but is that like Luke Skywalker's like, I've messed up. I'm stopping everything. I don't want anything to do with the Force. The Jedi should die. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm cutting myself off. Obi-Wan has he's got some depression. He's lost his mojo. He's not seeing the bright side of life and at this time. And it's as the story continues that he begins to use the Force and begins to make more ripples, because when I say, the reason why I say he's not completely cut off though is when Reva lands on Tatooine, I know they filmed the moment where she senses him, and the Grand Inquisitor's like, "Where's he at?" And then no, you're wrong. They like shut her down and stuff like that. And then but she's right. And it's like after they kill Nari, that becomes the extra incentive for him to leave.
Right.
I don't know if he knows that he was sensed. You know what I mean? Like would he know? I don't know. I kind of doubt it. It doesn't seem like something that they really have a narrative device for in Star Wars. Right. I got sensed. That's never happened before.
I hope they don't. That would be horrible.
I got sensed. Did you sense it? Yeah. So anyways, I think it's probably a safe assumption that didn't happen or doesn't happen. But but we're gonna see his. I'm going to assume jaundiced yellow Sith eye. And the thing, the big question I asked, and I didn't get an answer. Is does he have eyebrows? Does he? Shouldn't. But he should
be burned off.
They should be burned off.
Burnt off. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm guessing he doesn't have them. But is this the kind of question I should be asking Meg? Does he have eyebrows? Is that the number one thing? I don't know.
I don't think he does. But
yeah,
I hadn't even considered it until you mentioned it.
Yeah. Well, because I wanted to know. I wanted to know if he had eyebrows, and is the eye yellow, or is it just like normal Anakin? But I don't actually know.
Because Bubba grew back his eyebrows.
He did, but Darth Vader didn't. Return of the Jedi. Maybe he lost him again. Maybe he started shaving him. Maybe he got into Marilyn Manson.
Probably
something like that. Just started
smashing pumpkins, actually.
Smashing pumpkins. Yeah, he does kind of have a Billy Corgan vibe going on, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Does Billy Corgan shave his eyebrows, or is he just that pale?
I think he's shaving them personally. But maybe he has alopecia. I don't know. Don't punch me, Billy Corgan.
He's a wrestler. He wrestles.
Yeah, he does own a wrestling ring now, doesn't he?
He does. I'm not kidding. He like bring that Macho Man fucking gimmick over here, buddy.
Yeah. So, anyways, let me see what. Any questions from the old chat? Hey, Mr. Tibor, how's it going, dude? Tibor says that sounds awesome. I wanted to see Darth Vader just dealing with life since I was a kid. Hidalgo can say whatever he wants. Vader has so much more to show. Oh, did Pablo say there's nothing more to see from Vader or something? Because the show's going to prove that wrong, I think, if that's the case. But yeah, I mean, I've never felt like it was a show. Like whenever you hear people say there's a Darth Vader show coming, that to me never really made much sense in the sense that the big stuff happens to him on screen. The Skywalker saga, for the most part, is the story of his actions and what he did. The first 6, anyway.
Right.
And so what do you do beyond that other than I found out my kid's alive is kind of like one story, and the resurrection of Padme. And they've done my kid's alive in the comics, and they've done trying to resurrect Padme in the VR story. Those are canon for what it's worth. And so there's not really a lot left to do with Vader other than these kind of moments that the Kenobi show kind of presents us with, I think.
I always thought it was like a really stupid idea when people said, let's do a Vader show after Kenobi. It's like, did you not watch the first 6 films? Like, what else is there to show?
Right.
The comics have filled out so much.
Yeah, I wonder if when people say that if they're wondering like the whole like Jedi Purge stuff, which I think we're gonna be able to get to see some of that in here. So
We
we kind of don't need a Vader show.
Fans
You know what I mean?
always say they want certain things, Max. Like, I just want it. Okay, I'll give you 2 examples, right?
I want $1 million.
I just want it to be dark and violent and no happiness. And then they get the What If series from Marvel and they go, it's not fun. It's dark and everyone dies. Right.
Mhm.
And then they go, we don't want any trailers. Just drop the movie. And then they're like, it's 3 months till Thor and there's no trailer. What's going on? Like, so, you know, it's a little weird.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like difficult for Lucasfilm to weigh what fans want, what they think they want, what they need, and what they think they need. Like it can be completely different things. But in this instance right here, I feel like this is kind of hitting some check boxes. The story.
It
You know
sounds
what I mean?
perfect. It really
Right.
does. It sounds
Yeah.
like the perfect Kenobi series Lucasfilm could make to please fans.
Yeah, it's like it's subtle. You just get like that eye opening up, and you're like, "Oh shit!" And then the next episode, you do get those moments of what it's like to be Anakin. It satiates it. Like, how many times do you need to see the guy get put back together, like realistically on screen, before you're like, okay, I get it. You know, like we saw Boba and a bacta tank a bunch of times, and we kind of felt like, don't really want to see bacta tanks anytime soon. I'm good. And in this instance right here, you see him, you know, getting put back together, and you're like, this guy's life is shit. This guy is
Wait
really
till you find out
dropped
what the DLC for Lego Star Wars is. It's all back to things.
It's all back to tanks all the time.
All back to
Yeah.
all done.
I might be in the minority here, but I always thought Vader's appearance in Rogue One really satisfied my need to see Vader between the prequels and the OT, even though it's literally in the same year as A New Hope.
Yeah.
And this is kind of just the icing on the cake. I don't need an entire series. And as
Right.
fans, I don't think we realize what that would entail, apart from what we've already seen and read in the comics and seen in Star Wars Rebels, etc.
Yeah, there's only
Well, I
so
will
many
say-
times you can do that kind of sequence where it's effective just on the face value of it as well.
When they brought up the idea of like a Stranger Things scenario with Grammar Rodeo, I immediately thought to like, oh, what if they were just Padawans, like a group of kids on the run during the Purge, you know, and like Jason, they slowly get picked off between Inquisitors and Vader, kind of shit. You know what I
Me?
mean? Like,
Me?
don't go so well.
Jason Voorhees, right? Is what who you're talking about.
I think
Yeah.
so.
The
They
Corey
were
Feldman
making
one, not the,
love. I need one of the Force moms to be like, "You let my Jason die. You were making love." I love it when she says that. It's the
And
best
he's like,
part.
they were making sex, not
They were
love.
making love. Like, okay, whatever, Jason, Mrs. Voorhees. But no, but we're gonna end up with all of this stuff from Kenobi with him getting put back together, and then in Rogue One we see him just murdering the rebellion. Then we have the other stuff I wrote about the week before, where we have Jedi wannabes, if you will, or maybe even Jedi, but I've been told Force sensitives being slaughtered by Darth Vader. I mean, that's going to happen. So like when all is said and done, you're going to have a piece of visual reference for any of these concepts we've wanted since the prequels.
This
You
show
know?
has everything.
It has it all.
Force senses, all of it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how I think it should be done. Like Darth Vader should be this guy off screen who comes into frame, and you're like, oh shit, it's over. If we followed him around all day, like, it would start to feel like that SNL skit where Kylo Ren becomes undercover boss. Like, what do you know what I mean? What are you gonna do? Just follow him down the hallways of the Star Destroyer while nobody wants to look at him and stuff,
And I think what you're touching upon is the mystique around the character.
Yeah.
There's some things that are best left to the imagination. And, if you create an entire Vader show ticking every box any fan could want, you end up with, I guess, a show that leaves nothing to the imagination. And I think that was the complaint with Solo.
Do you think we're there now? Do you think after this, Do you think that may be a feeling that we have of there is no more mystique for Darth Vader? Does this check all the boxes in its own way, and then there we
I'd
get
have
it?
to see the show first.
Yeah.
I think it's too early to judge.
Since everything feels like it was created with good motivation and solid intent, and it feels smart, I don't think that will be the way I feel about it. But at the same time, I could see if people just generally don't care about Obi-Wan Kenobi, or you're not an Obi-Wan Kenobi fan, and then you watch this, I think that could very well be the accidental ramification of overexposing the character, or even re-exposing the character to the audience. But I don't think I'll be in that group. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the people who are running the show are where I get the most vote of confidence, right? Like, I've only seen competence and exceeding expectations from the people behind everything so far. So, you know, even Ewan on that, again, the last time I watched him was on Fargo season 3. And I was like, I don't want to see a guy playing a twin of himself again, man. I've seen these, you know, all those 90s movies where it was like Jean-Claude Van Damme versus Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like, I don't want to go through, or adaptation kind of perfected it, right, with Nicolas Cage. But then in season 3 Fargo, he was amazing. I mean, ruined his family, but it was amazing TV. So
I call that a life upgrade, but I'm a piece of shit.
yeah. You're not helping the internet.
She's hot though, man. And he's like, you're hot. You're gonna be in Ahsoka someday. We should go out. That's what he did. You know, I don't know.
He did do that.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm dumb, but also for what it's worth,
horny, who cares?
you know.
Is that Daisy?
Mm-hmm.
Horny, who cares?
She sounds American.
Yeah, it's from that new movie with the Mandalorian that she just did on Netflix.
For our next exercise, I would like you to enter me for 30 thrusts. Let's do that 10 times. And continue until I say we're done.
So
She's really fucking hot. Not gonna lie.
yeah. I'm pretty about it. I'll probably play that clip way too many times in the future. Just a
And
heads
now that
up.
I'm aware of it, I'll be doing the same.
I'll send you the edited
any-
files, Meg.
Thank you.
Is there any chance Rian can't get her in one of these Knives Out movies? Like, she does have good comedic timing too, you know? Like,
Yeah.
seriously, like,
Is that really her
those are
voice?
great.
Yeah, that's her American accent. She plays like one of those like people who speaks really high at first and then drops it down. Like, I can't do it, but you know, like a kind of like a flight attendant-y kind of voice. She's like an
High
AI.
pitch.
That's
No,
really
not the whole
funny.
time. But
That's
we
really
do
funny.
we do get Rey and the Mandalorian doing this.
Oh god.
So that happened.
Like,
Yeah.
Jason's been busy all weekend.
Thanks to Bestman Bulletin for sending me the actual raw data file, whatever you want to call it, and then I clipped out those moments.
Oh,
yeah. It was.
Time
It takes a village to make this show dumber than it should be.
it takes a rodeo,
It does.
a grammar rodeo.
Yeah.
a Houston
So-
rodeo.
I'm going to jump around in the comments here. Junkbox says a Vader show could work on so many levels. Comics be damned. Yeah, that's
Could it, though?
that's the thing. Is like he can't change. That's where you run into like the big problem. Is what kind of character progression can you do with Darth Vader? All you could have him maybe do is accept some things, and then make that. But that sounds really personal in the boring way, like the kind of shit your parents would rent when you were a kid, and you'd be like, "I gotta watch this shit." Like you don't. It might as well get Hugh Grant to be Darth Vader and watch as he accepts his divorce. Basically, that would be the story. That's what it would ultimately truly be. In this way, we get to have him as, like I call him, a Terminator, but also there is the attachment to that Terminator. Leia doesn't know it's her father, and that's another question I've had for the show that I haven't been able to get an answer for, is does Princess Leia interact with Darth Vader? Do we see the openings of that rapport that she has? Because when she meets him in A New Hope, she has shit talked him before. That's not the first time she shit talked him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I think that's always been my assumption. She's been talking this shit up and down the galaxy.
That's so interesting because I have the opposite perspective.
Do you? Yeah.
I do. I got the impression she never met Vader before but heard of him. Because if you have Vader run into Leia at age 10, then it kind of doubles down on the fact of how did Vader not sense that she was his daughter twice?
Yeah.
Or thrice. Or however many times.
Could we explain that away by maybe he gets some Padme vibes off of her, doesn't like that feeling, but she's coming at him. And so maybe he suppresses it, but also that on top of the knowledge that his child is dead. He doesn't even know he has twins, right? He believes he has a single child in Revenge of the Sith, but he actually has twins. And so it's even more of a, you know, of a mind fuck. Like, why didn't he sense he had twins in Revenge of the Sith?
Well, he had to. Didn't Klieg Lars have to tell him where his mom was at? Sort of. Like, didn't that happen in Attack of the Clones? Like, he wasn't just being, I'll just use my Force reader, go find my mom. Like, he had to, like, I don't think.
He had to point him a little bit, yeah.
I'd like to think the Force doesn't work where he can just, like, look at you and be like, not family. Next one, family.
But that's what he did with Luke.
No, look, his last name says Skywalker. He didn't know that was his son during the trench run. It's that time in between the first and second movie did the math on where did he come from? Oh, from, you know, Luke's a pretty easy guy to track. Like he left a trail right to, hey, the place where I used to go, where I buried my mom.
Did he know him as Luke Skywalker?
Not until Empire. I mean, well, in Empire he knows. Empire. In the opening crawl he knows, and then we learn of the story through the comics like after. But I think we have to go with the idea that you got to trust your feelings, and if you don't trust your feelings, you don't know. Does that make sense?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but in The Empire Strikes Back, when Vader speaks to the hologram of Palpatine, doesn't he say there's a great disturbance in the Force?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he says. And then he says, the son of Skywalker has basically blown up the Death Star. And so the whole question is that news to Darth Vader in that moment? Because it's not, because he's been obsessed with finding Luke already in the opening crawl. So, yeah. So he has a secret from the Emperor, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So I think... yeah, it's like as fans, I mean, this is a dumb question, but I think it's still a valid one. As fans, how do you play with the Force gobbledygook? You know what I mean? It's like they sense things and then they don't and shit like that. It's all very convenient for the plot.
What if sometimes they're in tune and sometimes they're not?
Yeah, you just leave it out the script. It's not necessary. You just rip that page right out. Just toss it out there.
You know what I realized? The people are the moving video is me and you, and then Rob and Meg on the opposite
yeah, they're ghost.
They're ghosts, but we're all wearing blue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, are you wearing blue?
Not really. Well,
I'm wearing Avatar.
I got a Boba Fett. Does that count?
Yeah.
Is this like the St. Patrick's Day of Force Ghost that I didn't know? I needed to wear blue.
Today's Force Ghost Day.
Yep. Am I gonna get? Do you get goose? You get goose on this day.
You get two fingers. With the stinky.
I was waiting to see what you were gonna do with those fingers. But speaking of Force Ghost, I think the best direction Disney could take with Vader / Anakin after the Kenobi series is just to explore post Return of the Jedi when he's a ghost. They're doing that in Shadow of the Sith.
Yeah.
Why not do that in the Ahsoka show? That's the only, quote unquote Vader that's worth exploring.
Yeah, I'm with you there too. I think that like we probably get the actual legit Clone Wars flashback in Ahsoka, but I think we could also have that atonement moment where Anakin gets, we've never had Ahsoka atone with Anakin. Like she leaves they're kind of cool, but not really. And then she ends up on all of these other adventures, and then he's Darth Vader. They meet in that temple in Rebels. They have the fight, and she doesn't really get to see that he returned to good. And so in a weird way, I kind of wonder if that's sort of one of the end moments of the Ahsoka series, because it would kind of capstone the character in a pretty big way. They were calling it a limited series, I believe, but I haven't seen that language used consistently across the board for Ahsoka. So I keep kind of wondering if is this really a limited series or is it not? Yeah. But
I think it'll be
Anakin would be a good way to end it.
Yeah.
Because fans would just go it would be a very easy moment to win fans over with that kind of thing. But I would hope that if there would be a really good reason for it as well, that wins over general audiences as well.
What do you think he would say to her?
Oh, she'd be like, Sky Guy. He'd be like, Snips. Sky Guy, Snips. And then they would kiss. And then
That'd be weird.
It's like
That would be
ghosts.
very weird.
They make the pottery, the Force pottery.
No.
Maybe. No.
He touches her things. No.
He would be like,
I'd rather have like a moment where Yoda's not Force Ghost, but like Force projection kind of just gave a little wave to Ahsoka in Rebels. I want a very subtle but satisfying moment rather than a full-on snog session.
Yeah. Yeah.
He says, I'm a Force guy, you're a Force girl. Force guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
No, he's like, I've always loved you. Ew, yuck.
He's like, my last girlfriend was Natalie Portman. This isn't too bad. It's not too bad.
I get on the Clerks movies.
She'll be like, you were my master. Now I'll be your mistress.
Now I'm the master. Yeah, I would watch that. But I do think that they could make that into a really special moment with a really good conversation. And also, if we do Meg, I wanted to know your opinion of this, because I think me and you always have the caveat about the world between world stuff in Ahsoka. We always have to say, like, that's the inside of the temple from Rebels. That's in the art. It's not necessarily a promise. I kind of think it's going to go there. I think it kind of makes sense that it would. But yeah, do you think that's a viable way of getting to Anakin as well?
I was speaking to a bunch of people in the Discord server, I think it was Santa's server, about this a long time ago, and I can't really see any way for them to use the world between worlds coherently in Ahsoka. I think they use the Lothal Jedi Temple ceiling just to kind of hint towards, the main mission that Ahsoka and Sabine are on is to find Thrawn and Ezra.
Yeah.
I don't think there's more to it.
Yeah.
Because it gets a bit messy, especially in live action.
Yeah, it could get very messy.
It'll just make fans start going, why don't they just go open the door to when Palpatine was a baby and, throw him out with the bathwater?
Or why don't you save Qui-Gon, or why don't you do this, or why don't you do that? And you could just completely alter the timeline as we know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of altering timeline, I watched a part of Superman when he goes in reverse, when he flies to try to save Leia. I mean, Lois.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that was something that you could actually do as a kid. Like, well, okay, so we could just do that and like reverse what just happened.
Wouldn't it be great if they did that? If they did that, like that that one scene where Superman sits at the bar and he's like drinking and he's like evil and he's like flicking peanuts at the bottles and bricking it. Yeah, beer nuts at the bottles. It would be great if Darth Vader did that. I think he could do it. Yeah. I think he does that.
Beer nuts and bottles.
There's your Vader series, fans. That's what happens.
Chapapa Chihuahua, right? Whatever that fucking thing is.
Excuse me, a Chapa Chowa. What you meant to say.
Yeah, you're right. You got me.
I got you, fake fan. I got you, fake fan.
That craft.
Would a fake fan have Batman merch behind him for the entire Star Wars show, Jason?
Fake fan. Actually, the picture of Batman in the upper right on that poster, I was looking at the photography for that the other day, and you see him standing next to the Joker. And for my whole life, I thought Joker was a tiny little guy compared to Batman. And boy, Joker just towers over little baby Batman in that costume. They shot that so well in the movie because he's tiny,
Yeah,
man.
he's a short guy. That's why when he goes to kiss Kim Basinger, they're on stairs.
There you go. That
That's
woman's
why.
got legs.
He is. I didn't know he was short.
I'm horny. Who cares?
I know. I don't.
I know.
Meg.
T4 says Boba didn't really have any character development in his series. All I'm saying is with talented creatives, it could work, but more as a movie. Oh, for the Darth Vader thing. Sure. I mean, I guess we could kind of like push anything over to with the right talent. It could work, but as Boba shows us, you could put a lot of talent into something and not necessarily get AAA Star Wars or whatever.
They should call it Vader the movie. I'd go see that.
Vader the movie.
Yeah, look, I know.
There was a YouTuber who put forward the proposition of like a Star Killer movie. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
I would. That could be interesting.
Yeah, especially like if it's like kind of a problem. Like, like they used to have the original story was that Luke Skywalker was going to get a Kyber crystal. This was before it was lightsaber batteries. And whoever had the Kyber crystal could amplify the Force and was this ultra powerful, super powerful warrior who couldn't be stopped. And that was like the original concept behind it. And you could do something like that with a Star Killer and let him get a little bit out of Force when you think of Force Unleashed, you do think of Force powers that are insane. So you could go with that for a short time and then have them dispel it by the end of it, just to make your Mountain Dew version of Star Wars if you wanted to. I'd be up for it.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah, every now and then you want your little Mountain Dew Star Wars,
Yeah.
But Tibor says the general audience didn't read the comics. Obi-Wan had adventures in literature, and still we could have a show with him. This is the mystery that will be taken away from Kenobi instead. It's true. I think in this instance, though, what's good is before this series, before we knew any spoilers, we thought Kenobi goes to the desert, he pulls up a chair, and he sits there waiting to get old. And he goes over to Uncle Owen and says, "Hey, can I give this guy a lightsaber?" He's like, "No, go away." And then he goes out. And then we know that like Luke sees him out there and thinks he's a crazy old hermit. Like that's all we actually knew. That was the majority of what, and so our imagination was limited from that. This is much different now.
You see, I always thought Obi-Wan went to Tatooine, changed his name to Ben, joined Dr. Evazan's improv group, had some fun in the arts for a while, got old really quickly, and then starts his "This is your father's lightsaber" spiel.
I could see that. I could also see him in maybe teaching yoga for a while and having a girlfriend named Jennifer, and then they break up, and then that's when he cuts his hair, decides it's time to grow up. All right, it's time, and then he goes and finds Luke. I mean, there's a lot of ways they could have taken this.
Obi-Wan dated size noodles. You know that. Well, you know that.
Lips on a stick.
Yeah.
Look at them lips.
I like those lips on a stick.
Come on.
I can't lie. I wouldn't say no, but she wouldn't date me. She's really fancy.
You would sigh her snoodle.
I don't know. I think I have a little bit of a purple Capote vibe sometimes.
I'm sure she gives great head. So
I mean, she did. I mean, she was with
Max. No innuendo with Max. Max, she goes right for it. Like we're all like, hey, little jokes, Max. So she sucks his dick. I'm like, oh.
Horny, who cares?
I do it every time.
Yeah. Always a performer.
Here's a little known fact. Rey's last name isn't Skywalker, it's actually Shadow Legends.
Rey Shadow Legends?
Ooh.
wow.
That sounds fun.
That sounds sexy.
He's like, In this one, in Ahsoka, we see the ghost, and it appears to Ahsoka, and she's like, "I'm thinking about changing my name to Skywalker," and he's like, "No, I don't ever want anyone to do that, ever, no matter what, unless you came from my loins." And Ahsoka's like, "Oh, okay, Sky Guy, yeah, I'm Ahsoka Tano. I'll keep the name." And then that's when we have it turns out all of it was real. The Lucasfilm Civil War, all real. Dave Filoni wants to fight Kathleen Kennedy. It's been on the table the whole time. It's
true.
all
it's all
happening.
true.
That's deep.
It's all true.
Yeah, I mean that's what it would take.
It's all true.
That's what it would take.
I have a friend named Anna, and my friend used to call her Anakin Skyhooker.
What's she up to right now? No, I'm kidding.
You know that's actually a Shadows of the Empire joke, Jason.
Oh,
Did she live up to her name?
Skyhook.
Kind of.
Get it?
She would laugh. She laughed about it all the time.
So she is the chosen one.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, young boomer! I saw this on Meg's video this morning, and I was like, "Why did I pick store pickup?" The young boomer says, "Lego Star Wars arrived early this morning. Holy crap, it's great. Lego totally gets Star Wars. Retells the stories of the films with a ton of humor alongside it, plus a great pod race level." So that sounds cool. Tomorrow, my son's like, "Can I stay home from school?" I'm like, "No." No, you can't.
Right, but look how many years it took to make it. You know, that's all I'm just saying. Like, you're gonna need good. Let's say if they were well, they were irresponsible, but let's say they had a straight shot at it. It's a 3 to 4 year development. You know, to get a game of that size out, they did what 6 years, I think.
It's worth it
It's been
though.
a while, right?
They're going to sell that game for 20 years.
Sure,
I'm pretty
but
sure
the
it was
next
announced
one,
after The Last Jedi.
Was it that long ago?
yeah.
I think there were
Oh, that's-
rumors for it back then.
That's a
Yeah.
long time for this game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for this game.
Wow.
Because I don't think I've ever talked about this, but I had a source back in the day. I don't know if this is out there or not. So if it is, whatever. But back in the day, so do you remember how I had that there was that for The Force Awakens, there was sort of like another storyline at the end. And the other storyline was that General Hux releases this thing called the Array. It's like a super weapon that takes down all spacecraft in a space battle. And but it even takes down your own. So you don't just use this haphazardly, like you use this as like a last ditch effort, you know? And so there were supposed to be all of these rebel forces
Death
or
Blossom.
resistance forces, out there, and basically Hux realizes it's over, they failed, and he activates the Array, taking down their own ships as well. And but basically what had happened was Lego had started developing that immediately. That was one of the first things that they had done, was that whole end battle. And then they cut it. And they were like, "Are you serious? Can we include it?" And they were like, "No, it's not in the film." And then it ended up getting parts of it were reused for Rogue One. Stuff with the Star Destroyer that rammed the other ones, that was actually in that battle at the end.
Yeah.
And which became a big part of Rogue One. They were like, "No, we have our reasons." Lego wasn't happy from what I heard. And they just ended up like just literally stopping the production on the game, just being like, "We can't deal with this shit. This isn't
Just
worth
'cause-
it."
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
this is just a big headache. And then they offered them Rogue One stuff, and they were like, they passed. That's why we didn't get a Rogue One Lego Star Wars game, and that's why the Force Awakens game came out so much later. And when it did come out, the Array stuff was there. They actually like still had that stuff reworked in it. It's the only place I think you can get anything with the Array confirmed is in the Lego Star Wars Force Awakens game. And so yeah, for a long time it sounded like they had a pretty bad relationship with Star Wars as it was happening. And that's when Lego changed their mind to only make things that have already occurred, nothing coming. So
Right.
yeah.
I when you're saying the Ray, it sounds like a dance.
The array.
Like I'm
And
gonna
then
do
we
the
have
Ray.
Rey.
I'm gonna do the Ray.
The array.
Did Hux teach all of the stormtroopers to do the array?
To the array.
Captain Phasma, lead the group.
Yes.
Hootie tootie disco cutie. Hootie tootie disco cutie. I think I also
He goes by.
am curious. Well, I've always wondered from that because back then I was under the impression that Hux died. And I'm curious if Hux was actually supposed to die in that moment. Because I was under the impression when he pulls that thing, he reports to Snoke, he activates the array, and it's sort of like the Titanic moment for Hux. And I'm curious if they ever filmed that and if we'll ever know, you know? But hopefully maybe at Celebration, somebody could ask somebody in one of those Q&As, was Hux ever supposed to die in The Force Awakens?
And is Hux short for Huxtable?
His name is actually Rudy Huxtable. People don't know that.
That's what happened to Rudy?
Yeah. Rudy Huxtable is his name.
Wow.
But
Yeah. It's true.
and thank you for becoming a channel member, Mr. Soundwave. I appreciate it, my robot friend. Yeah.
Max,
Yes.
I couldn't give 2 Hux.
That's a good one. That's better than
Soundwave
cussing.
confirms. It is funny.
I couldn't give 2 Hux.
I had a friend fan of Star Wars who followed my stuff who was just literally in love with Hux.
Uh-huh.
And every single time I was like, yeah, in this movie they choke Hux. He'd be like, he doesn't die though, right? And I was like,
Yeah, choke him.
I don't think, yeah, but probably. I'm pretty sure that happened. But then when Hux finally died, they were like, "This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
Rip.
This movie's bullshit."
I can't believe they made him a spy for the rebels.
I know. And you
I'm
know
the
what?
spy.
Every time I see the times that I've watched Rise of Skywalker, every time he falls on his face, I can't look at that anymore. Because I learned that the stunt double actually broke his nose.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Gross.
that's why you gotta watch it, Max.
No.
That person suffered to bring us that authentic piece of entertainment.
I
You
look
gotta
away.
look right at it. You gotta look right at it, and you gotta go, yeah. Mm.
Ugh,
You have to go. You have to go. I want that to happen.
I'm
Yeah.
Who cares?
That's what you have to do.
I love that clip. That's my new favorite clip.
Mm.
I can't believe she's saying that.
Yeah, in an American accent, which makes it weird.
She must have had a really good vocal coach or accent coach, dialect coach.
Dialect coach, that sounds right. Yeah, it's a little, if it wasn't, it's a little hit or miss, but because when you watch the full thing, but because she's supposed to be like an annoying, like exercise robot AI kind of thing in the scene. I haven't watched the movie. I've only seen that sequence, but the full thing, it's not horrible, but yeah. But when you just get those moments, it works. What?
Andrew Garfield pulled out that American accent for the first time in an episode of Doctor Who with Captain Panaka.
Oh,
And let me tell you, it did not go well.
no.
His first American accent wasn't very good at all. He's trying to pull that moonshine Tennessee thing going on there.
Meg, can you do an American accent?
I don't want to say yes because then
Because I mean, really, an American accent, you almost have to pick like what area of America. Well, I guess, yeah.
Era.
No, area.
Oh, area.
Like the South.
areola.
Yes.
Meg's
That
all,
too.
I mean,
dude. There's my American accent. Dude.
I find it interesting, not just anybody doing an American accent, and I think we had this discussion before. How it's like you tighten your vocals. I don't know, right, Meg?
Meg's like,
Sorry,
I don't know.
I'm trying not to make a joke.
Yeah, I hear the joke like bubbling.
Well, you said you have to tighten your, and I thought you were going to say buttocks.
Yes, that too.
Got to clench your asshole.
But
Most Americans
go,
are very
yes.
clenched assholes, man.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're aware of this.
That's why they talk
Very
that
fucking
way.
uptight around here.
Obi-Wan Kenobi became a channel member, aka
Oh,
Beskar Batman.
Yay.
Thanks, man. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
the support, dude. Yeah. Oh, Tibor says Obi-Wan doesn't need evaporators to make things moist.
Ooh.
All right.
Jason, what did Obi-Wan eat?
What?
Like, what did he eat in his cave? I'm genuinely curious.
You're generally curious?
She wasn't telling a joke.
Okay.
It sounds like the start of a joke, but I'm
Yeah,
curious.
I literally thought we were doing like a knock knock. I was like, "Who's there?" for that one.
That sounds good.
Yeah. No, I've kind of wondered about this. I don't know if he buys food from Tika, if he buys food when he goes to Anchorhead, in my exclusive Anchorhead report, or if he eats the space whaling thing that he does, that thing I talked about. He like hunts some kind of creatures of some kind with that on that boat with all of those other dudes. I don't know if that's what he eats, but I'm not
Frogs.
sure. I'm not sure if we see him eat. Maybe he licks the cave floor. Maybe that's his thing.
Maybe he gets
Or
one of
maybe-
those delicious crumbs on a stick. Yeah.
Oh yeah, on
Ooh,
Navarro.
Yeah.
Corkian monkey lizards.
Knock knock.
Yeah.
Who's there?
Who's there?
What does Obi-Wan Kenobi eat on Tatooine?
Who's there?
That's a joke. I was just
Okay,
joking.
we did it.
But-
We did it.
I thought your funniest like Kenobi scoop was the one about Tika the Jawa.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, like, Kenobi hasn't been around many females until he meets Tika. So, and I know times are dire and he doesn't have much choice. Does he decide to
Fuck her?
show her his blade and say, I will do what I must,
I think so.
I think so.
before
Honestly.
he plunges into the Force?
This is
Yeah.
where that no attachments thing really came in handy.
Yeah.
You know?
He's like,
oh, thank God I can turn that on. And
he's
have
not
to
looking,
think
or he's
about
not
it.
touching. He's just like,
And then at the end, when Qui-Gon's like appears and he was like there the whole time, it's gonna make it kind of weird. He's like, dude, it was weird when you told that Jawa to look you in the eye while you did that to it.
It's like to go to my cave, play Tatooine Fortnite all night.
he's like, do you have any Vegemite?
Do you think if you're doing a
Oh,
really
yeah.
good job, like just banging the shit out of a Jawa, you think its eyes dim a little bit, or do you think they get brighter? Dimmer or
Brighter.
brighter? It's got to be one or the
Brighter.
other.
Oh no.
Brighter?
There's at least one in canon character who knows for sure.
Pelimoto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Thank,
Oscar.
thank you, Favreau Filoni.
Does Obi-Wan ask Tika to tell him when she's about to Utini?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the line how it starts is just like, hey Tika, how about you let me get a little pika? You know what I mean? Come on. And, like,
Scores,
lifts up the rope.
Jawa.
Yeah.
Says, can I see that fur?
He's like, I ain't got anything to eat in this cave here, but I see you, darling. Come on, eh? Come on, Tika. Give me a pika. I mean,
To Pika.
Oh dear.
yeah. It makes sense to me. How's it going, Tyrant? Tyrant says, so you're saying Obi-Wan not only knew Luke and Leia were siblings, but Force Ghost watched. Well, no, he's alive. He's alive when they're Force kissing in the Empire Strikes Back. So no, but I don't really know how to make sense of any of that stuff. I mean, it's like our friend, I don't think he's in the chat today, but like our friend Baymax.
Yeah,
Takes
he
like is he yeah, he was here earlier. I think he had something to do though. But
Oh.
he has
He's
a
got
big
a concert.
problem with the Yoda moment in the Last Jedi when he brings the lightning down onto the tree. Like for him, that moment shows that a Force ghost can literally interact with the living world and affect it. Now, I'm able to go in my head canon and go, well, there's no opposition to that. Like you can't just do that in a fight. There would be some kind of spiritual opposition. I'm able to make that work for myself. For him, it really bothers him. So
Also,
I'm not
Jason,
taking
that was
from
the
him.
original ending to Return of the Jedi or Revenge of the Jedi. So like,
Yeah.
that was like literally one draft away from being canon at one
Yeah.
point. You know?
I have a counter argument because Obi-Wan clearly interacts with nature in Return of the Jedi.
Right.
He sits on the log, some of the leaves
Oh,
rustle.
Yeah.
We can do that, Meg. You
forgot
didn't know
about
that?
that.
You've been standing this whole time?
We can.
Sit down!
Sit down, Meg. Sit down.
Sit
Get
down,
the
man.
log
I'm sitting. You're standing. Oh, she's standing the whole time.
the whole time.
I just realized she's on indoor.
Well,
Pandora.
here
There's
is
logs
the-
everywhere. Sit down.
I mean, but if we want to like explore like those, but once again, it's just like it's mystical. You just almost have to go like turn on the mystical brain and go, it's all above me. I don't understand it. It's convenient for the writers, but when you have like those kind of moments, like why does Obi-Wan say you can go confront him, but I can't interfere? Like why is that? And so my internal headcanon is that he can't just interfere like that in that moment during a duel with him, because it would stop it. But then we know that Qui-Gon does that for him in the fight with Vader.
I
So
think
it's
George
like-
Lucas explained this, though. I think George Lucas
I did. Yeah,
explained
I
it.
did. It's called Deus Ex Ghostina.
I think he said that
it's a
Luke
problem.
had to be the catalyst to bring Anakin back.
Right.
No, that's not it. It's just cheap as fuck. Like if you do that, if you bring him back and then at the end, and then I gotta have a ghost in there too, and also it's not cheap. Not cheap to have Alec on set. He will not swing a sword ever again.
Sword.
It was really, sword.
Sword.
For one whole day, I kept saying the word sworrid. When we're talking about swords, sworrid. Like I kept fucking with that word and pissing everyone off in school. I don't know. I just remember that day, the day I used sworrid. And
Who wants to play
haunts me 'cause I
Sworrid?
still do it. Yeah. So
my God.
let's swing some sworrids. And they're like, stop doing this. It's not a real word. So whatever. But, Meg, have you ever read the Tales of Power for Castaneda book, or even read an excerpt from that?
No.
That it's
Wow.
some wild, crazy 70s shit, but that might explain a little bit more about like where Lucas was coming from with the whole weird ghosts and stuff. So it's a little insightful.
Yeah, I think so. Like basically like in Tales of Power, Castaneda is just like is dealing with a shaman, and every single time if he says where is the sky, he'll be like up, and he'll be like, ha, you are dumb, for when you are great you are above the sky, you idiot. Like constantly. That's like all it is. Like
Oh God.
no matter what, you just kind of you fall into the rhythm of all this shit's above me. I'm just okay. Like whatever you say, shaman, it's all above me.
It's
I
also where the high
understand.
ground concept came from too.
Yeah. But so it's like you can tell where Lucas is coming at that kind of stuff. The problem that I don't know if it's a problem, but the issue is when you start to have so many instances of the mystical encroaching on the physical in Star Wars. Like, what are the rules? But I think it's simply it's above us. That's how we're supposed to see it. That's why like Qui-Gon can help in that moment. Why? Because it's important in the story. That's the reality. It's a great moment. But on the flip side of that, you start to go, well, why didn't they all show up in episode 9 to help Rey? Like stuff like that,
That's
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams just
I mean-
hating on everything that George did.
Yeah. It's JJ probably also under a time crunch, realizing there's no fucking way he could get all 9 of these voices or however many there were onto that ending that was worked out pretty late.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I wonder about that Force Ghost voice thing?
Mhm.
Why Adigalia?
I know.
She's the most random Jedi.
Yeah.
Very random.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Who are all the voices that were on there?
Ayla Secura, Luminar Unduli, Qui-Gon Mace, Old Ben, young Obi-Wan, like Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan, Anakin, Kanan, Ahsoka, although she's still alive, and Adigalia, and Yoda.
She
What
knows her
movie are we
songs.
talking about?
Force Awakens. I mean, Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
What is that?
Oh.
What is that?
Those all the voices that Rey hears in her ear while she's defeating Palpatine in episode 9.
There's an episode 9?
Oh, come on. But
Adigalia is
What
the
if
one
it-
who says. Adigalia is the one who says, "Rise, Rey."
yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that is weird. Because we just don't hear from her. I don't know. That is a weird.
Some movie's so stupid. Like it's the worst Star Wars film ever made.
It's your favorite
That's
Star
it.
Wars movie.
What- what's-
It's
Ryan.
the worst.
What I find interesting about it is like I know some stuff from back in the day about what was in the original Kenobi a Star Wars story and stuff, and I heard about people who were involved, and like Adigalia is like not in there. Like I think that would be a logical question. Like, what was Adigalia going to be in Kenobi at some point? Like, was there a reason for that appearance? And no, not at all.
That is so weird.
Don't know.
The dumbest.
Because we see
No
her
one knows
master
who that
Star
is.
Lee dying in Order 66.
Yeah. So I'm gonna think that could mean that if they do go back to her in some way, that it would be important. But with her dying in Order 66, kind of doesn't seem like there's a lot on the table for that. Like a lot of opportunity for her. Do you think that was that like how like somebody comes over and they're like, hey, want to see my record collection, and like you look at it and it's like basic as fuck. It's like, oh, okay, you got your ELO, you got your Queen, and you got some Bowie. Okay, cool. And then they're like, yeah, this is the Velvet Underground. You ever heard of them? And you're like, yeah, of course.
Of course.
But it's like was that JJ's fucking I'm getting esoteric? Was that him being record collector guy? Like, I'm adding Adigalia. Yeah, I know some deep cuts.
Mm-hmm.
I
He's being a
don't know.
smart Alex.
You know what it does for the average person in the theater who doesn't even know what that voice. They think it's Ray's mom or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. The average person just does not know.
You mean from Rogue One?
That person isn't in the film, isn't in the last film, is like it's been almost 20 friggin' years since they've even seen or heard of it. And even then, that name is not really uttered in the film, anywhere. It's not. It's like you just gotta be a fan. It's so frustrating when they do that stuff. I mean, well, I don't want to become evil Rob. I gotta have a red version when I get mad. The ghost turns red.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's
Next
so,
show.
I just want like Mace Windu, anybody could have said that shit. Like,
Yeah.
a voice.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And you really
I've
wouldn't
got a
have known
proposition.
until you saw the subtitles, right?
Yeah, at the end in the end credits.
Yeah, at one point they had Ray, or the idea was that they were going to have Leia and Luke show up and Ray's parents, and that one kind of was a harder one, made a little bit less sense, but still makes more narrative sense to me in a weird way. It's one of those times where you're getting like, how are the parents showing up as ghosts in this moment? But okay, I'll fucking roll with it. Kind of like that was like the first way that I heard it, and it was very authentic. It was not made up garbage or anything like that. And then they
But
changed
then
the
how do you explain
opening.
Han Solo
Yeah,
at the end of the film? Like,
yeah.
I
It was
know
a memory,
memory.
right? Yeah, a memory.
Well,
What were you
it
gonna
was
say, Meg?
it was supposed to be his ghost. Like, I don't know what they say today, but that was supposed to be his ghost.
You don't know what they say today.
I don't know what they
Satan.
officially made in the novel at that point.
No,
I was
you
like, I
didn't.
don't fucking care what they had to say. They don't even know what they're saying at this point, because
What they're
like
Satan.
Satan. Yeah. But that's, once again, it comes to this mystical mumbo jumbo to be the Han Solo of the whole thing. Like, you kind of have to either agree to accept it or not, or this shit is going to drive us crazy very shortly as we get
I
more.
think
I
there's
know
one
where I
really good
stand.
fan theory about the Force ghosts.
Yeah.
So we didn't see any of them, even the ones that could manifest.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the theory that Palpatine actually won in The Rise of Skywalker because he wanted Rey to strike him down? So he messed with her mind, just as he did with Ben at the beginning of the film, saying, I've been every voice you've ever heard inside your head.
Mm-hmm.
And then Palpatine got to Rey by pretending to be all those Force voices, which he knew as the Senate when he was just a politician. He knew all of these people for the most part.
Uh-huh.
And that's how he got to her, because he knew all she wanted was to hear the voices of the Jedi of the past.
Wow. Mm.
And then,
Yeah,
and
it'd
then
be
now
a great
she's
setup for a
For
new
episode 10.
story, Meg. I have very little confidence that this group of people will ever touch that scenario again.
well,
I think it's very
JJ
helpful.
won't. Yeah, do you guys do you think JJ's done with Star Wars? I hope so. I
think
kinda
so.
don't.
I
hope
think
so.
I think he is, because of what he's had to put up with, and also I'm sure after a while, like having to deal with fans, it's kind of
He earned that. Everyone loved him
Oh,
on
I
the fat
agree.
off the Force Awakens.
I
Max.
agree.
Like his having to deal with fans he's the one who's earned it the most.
I think
Sorry,
Ryan
but-
got the short end of the fan stick, and JJ's
100%.
kind of had it pretty easy overall, though. You know what I mean? Like it seems like even when it's a JJ problem, the people who do vocally criticize him put that on Kathleen Kennedy instead, and so
But-
he's managed to get away scot-free.
To get to what Meg was saying though, like that would be a good setup for a race series in which she goes bad or something, or you know what I mean? Like it was a trick if you strike that person down in anger or whatever, like they haunt you or they can, you know what I mean? Like a ghost, some weird. There's something there to that,
like she's
but I
been
don't
bad.
think. But I don't
Yeah.
think they're ever gonna go down the path of Rey being bad again after the backlash of that.
Well, it doesn't.
Thing,
it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be that she's bad. But if she's walking around with this with a Sith Lord who can talk, who she can hear now. If it's like if she's somewhat inhabited by it or something like that, and
Can
then
you
that
make
starts
it
to
a
come through,
concept art.
it opens up. Yeah, it does. It would open up. I mean, I think episode 10 will happen because episode 9 sucked. I think at the end of the day, as time moves on, they don't go, well, that was good enough. They end up going, we got to do 10, 11, 12 because we can do better. And then I think that's where this goes. So I think that's a great idea. I think whoever had that theory was thinking outside of, kind of turning the box onto itself, if you will. And I think that's kind of interesting.
Flipping the panties inside out.
Flipping it. Now they're clean.
Totally.
Now they're clean. This house is clean.
You know
We
what?
can do
I have
more.
a story about that.
Mhm.
I worked with somebody who her sister would wear panties one day and then flip them inside out and wear them the next day because she's in her mind those are clean.
When you tour, that's what you call washing clothes midweek.
And then you wash them at least in the sink
What?
or in the bathtub.
You can
wash
do
your
that?
panties in, yes.
You can do that? No.
Totally.
Now you tell me. Nobody told me when I was 20.
When you hear the magic word, everyone flip their panties around inside out.
Yeah. But
Stupid.
no, but I mean, but because I feel like Ahsoka, to kind of jump on to what we're talking about a little bit earlier. I feel like Ahsoka has Hayden Christensen in it, and it's dealing with what this series does and can't do. Like in this series, we get a flashback to Anakin, and he's young, but it's not in the Clone Wars. They're not like in the Clone Wars.
Mhm.
They're in a dojo. Now, some people who worked on it, but weren't in the scenes, are very insistent. They're like, there is Clone Wars flashbacks. It does happen. I haven't been able to get one thing about it that goes. I would go, okay. It's everyone like I know they were doing that, but I think it's the implication of the other scenes that are making people think it's one thing when it's not. It would make sense that they would show a flashback to Jabim with Anakin and Obi-Wan during the Clone Wars,
Mhm.
but I hear the main flashback, the what they filmed was in the dojo. So just saying maybe there is more, but I don't know. I don't think there is. I haven't been able to garner that truth. With that said, Ahsoka is the opportunity to go and whatever shortcomings they have, they can't show a Clone Wars flashback. Well, that she comes about during the Clone Wars.
You said Cummings.
Coming, yeah. She basically she came into the series during the Clone Wars, and so there's a whole opportunity for her because her whole relationship with Anakin is based in the Clone Wars. After the Clone Wars, they don't see each other until years later. And so that's and then also we can't really show young Hayden Christensen as a ghost in Kenobi, but you can do that in Ahsoka because he's been redeemed and he's turned to the good side by then. So that's what's kind of I think exciting about like the next year if you're an Anakin Obi-Wan fan. And my take or my question is, are we going to see Obi-Wan in that series too?
Ahsoka?
Yeah, because if the ghost of Anakin is appearing to her, I mean, I've always kind of been of that kind of opinion. Like, why wouldn't Yoda and Obi-Wan show up? But at the same time, in episode 8, just Yoda shows up to Luke, right? You don't get Obi-Wan and Yoda and stuff like that. They didn't deal with it.
So what about Qui-Gon just chilling, even though he never knew Ahsoka?
Yeah,
He was
Qui-Gon.
watching her. He was watching over everything.
That's what we end up having
I
at
don't
the end of Kenobi. But I'm kind of curious to see how all that pans out. I'll probably have a report on that pretty soon. By the way, I got more on Qui-Gon that I want to drop pretty soon. But
And Yoda's not going to be in it, right?
Yoda, no, Yoda. Back when I thought I saw Frank Oz, either it was Frank Oz and it was just set visit, or it was just a guy that looked like Frank Oz, maybe driving Ewan McGregor's car. You know what I mean?
Fucking heartbreaking.
But
Right?
no Yoda. As far as to the best of my knowledge, no Yoda. And I was trying to figure out what was at that swimming pool. Remember the swimming pool set out that filmed out in Los Angeles? And I got to think it's just something for Nur, because Nur's like underwater.
Do they go diving?
Yeah.
Like the Inquisitors on their day off?
Yeah, right. They're out there like looking in treasure chests while sharks right by them and stuff. Yeah, I don't think so.
Michael's
Also, I asked
Michael's-
about that other Inquisitor too, that we see in
Seventh
the
Sister.
trailer. I was told, don't waste your time.
Ooh.
So I don't think she's anybody of note.
Did you say you can't talk to me like that? I'm a high school graduate.
Oh, you mean the new Inquisitor that we see in the trailer?
Yeah. It doesn't sound like there's really much going on with the Inquisitors outside of those main three of the Grand Inquisitor, the brother, the fifth brother, and Reva. And I'm under the impression that yet the fifth brother is just like a lot of exposition kind of work was shot with him, of him like looking for stuff. He's basically just the anti-Reva, and she's sort of like who she is operating against. When you see him doing shit and like maybe like he's finding some people in rooms and stuff, she needs to do that too. So she's sort of holding herself up to him and wanting to defeat him at the same time. So
I like
it's a
that.
rival.
I like
a
that
rival.
Inquisitor.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see more Yoda.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. My Michael's grandmother
Mhm.
used to call him Jody, not Yoda.
Jody.
So every time we referred to Yoda, we would say Jody.
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 Jody Knight.
Yes.
Yeah, I wonder.
Steals
I
your
wonder.
girlfriend when you're away to the academy.
Huh?
Jody.
Yeah.
Every time I was thinking,
It's a military joke. No one here
Um,
gets it, but
No.
those out there who are former military, they'll know what I'm talking about.
I'm a big Phantasm fan though, and it's the brother who dies. It's Jody, and I'm always like, who would name somebody Jody? But it was the 70s. But
Someone in the chat says, "My name is Jody."
someone's like, my name is Jody, unsubscribed. You know, I'm sorry.
and-
I am all the Jodies.
You are.
I have a new name. My name is Jason. Jason Jody.
Oh, Jason Jody.
Tyrant says, I'd rank episode 1 as a worse movie, but Tross is up there with its MacGuffin turducken that could have been completely cut. It almost hits harder because episode 7 through 8, Rogue One to Solo, and 9. Yeah.
There is no way on God's green earth that episode 1 is worse
Uh-huh.
than The Rise of
Told you.
I
Skywalker.
was
Did you
literally
just say
thinking
that?
that.
Are you out your fucking mind? Like, seriously, look, I'm one of the biggest what do you call that? Naysayers in the prequels. You got pod racing, you got the Duel of Fates. You got a legitimate story that begins, has a middle, has a fucking end. You know, it all makes sense. You know, it's got Watto. I mean, what do we Rise of Skywalker, like, it makes no sense. Like, it doesn't even know what fucking planet it's on when it won't even tell you we're on Mustafar. It doesn't even know if it's on Mustafar. It keeps changing and shit. It's fucking weird.
Yeah. It's
horrible.
Mustafar.
Remember that big snail guy in episode 9, like that slug man?
Yeah.
And he was revealed at Celebration 2019. Everyone's like, "Who is this? Who is this new guy? What's he all
Claude?
about?" Yeah, Claude. Is it Claude?
Claude?
Claude.
Claude. Yeah, Claude. So I go around. I asked. I got the
Claude.
info, and I made a video back in the day, and I'm like, yeah, he's just on the ship. He doesn't really do anything. And then it's that picture you saw at the base. That's pretty much it. And I was going through my comments the other day, and there's this guy going, "You're fucking wrong. They didn't release that at Celebration for no reason." I was like, ha, ha, ha. Here we go. Celebration is coming. What kind of version of that will we get this year?
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinions, but like, come on, folks. Let's be honest. Like, the fucking Rise of Skywalker, it's got the shittiest fucking name ever. I mean, it's just, and then the
It was
whole,
a terrible name.
It's a dumb movie. Like, it's dumb.
It just depends on how
the time of day.
I don't know. It works different for everyone. I mean, I personally I think episode 1 gets a pretty bum rap. I think it has some pretty bad acting, but after that, I think it's an okay movie. I think it's pretty good. But
I would say that The Empire Strikes Back, The Phantom Menace, and Star Wars are objectively probably the best in the whole franchise.
Okay, let's calm down, man. You just calm down now. No, I understand. I have some childhood bias myself. All right, I'm not going to pretend Explorers is the greatest film ever, but let's be honest, it's one of the best films ever. But but like Claude is like a hand-me-down Explorers alien, and they one of the greatest aliens to begin with. Like if Claude and Sice Noodles had a kid, you get the Explorers aliens.
No, he's great. They just didn't really give him a moment. You know what I mean?
Sure.
At the end of the day, that's what I think. But
Hey, Chris
Eric Denton just texted me. Rob had me dying about the Rise of Skywalker, and he put the little hand up and he wrote solidarity. So there you go.
That's
But
a
if people think that episode to give people look, I gotta be fair to give episode 1 some real credit.
Fisting.
If you want to see a bad fucking movie that came out around the same time, go watch The Wild Wild West. I mean, that is a bad movie. That is a bad movie.
There's the only person who remembers it. I don't remember it.
I didn't watch it because it was a Western. I didn't watch Westerns.
I didn't
Did
watch
you
it
watch
'cause
any
of the song.
Easterns?
No.
Any
Yes. Watching
Southerns?
Star Wars,
Northerns?
right, Max?
Northwesterns?
Eastern. Huh?
Space Eastern.
Yeah.
Star Wars is a little bit of a Western.
I know,
Put
but
that
I
out there.
so I just never watched them.
I hear you.
Yeah, westerns are either really good or really bad though. I don't find that there's any middle ground with the western.
I just have this thing with like cowboys and stuff like that. So like even going to the rodeo, I'm like, I don't know. There's
Yeah.
something about it. I'm not too on
You're
board with
from Texas.
it. Who gives a shit? I don't like country music.
That's why she's like, enough. I had enough.
I don't like.
Well, now-
I don't like country music. I don't like the Hano. I'm just different.
Don't you live
Now
in
people
Texas?
can understand.
Yeah, I do.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I live in Texas.
Yeah, that's
Doesn't
why
mean
she has
that I-
enough of it.
That
I'm
is
with
true.
you.
It doesn't really mean anything.
Uh,
Yeah. No,
Doesn't.
it's even worse out here in California when you hear people going, "I like country music," and then you see them in their fucking cowboy hat, and you're like, "What are you doing, you heavy duty motherfucker? There's no reason for that
What-
here."
As I get
What
in
did I
my
send, Jason?
I jump on my horse
Sorry.
to go to the store. Just kidding.
Country music is just cowboy emo.
It's
Wait, so really, Max, what you're saying is you don't like cowgirl? I'll leave now.
No, that's
I like
Drop the mic.
I like when Meg is the cowgirl on Star Wars Santa show.
Oh, the
Uh,
marshal.
Marshall
yeah.
Meg. Marshall Meg. When Marshall Meg comes to town, you're like, "Whoa, everybody, sit up." Hey, Chris, how you doing, man? Chris is he had a rough couple of days. A pretty
Is he
rough.
doing
couple of
better?
days. He's doing
he?
better now.
Good.
So hopefully we. Stay
I
on
saw
that
him.
track.
he posted a pic on Instagram. I wasn't sure if that was recent or just, remembering those glory days before he bites the dust.
Hey,
we don't want to lose you,
he's still
Chris.
sick, man. He's not out of it yet.
I get his tennis racket though, right? Like if something happens to him.
It was a throwback picture.
What?
Yeah, we've already all divvied up his shit, dude. You're late.
I want to attach it to my Wiimote when I play Wii tennis. So I
you said a
just to
Wiimote.
remember him.
That
Yeah.
is not official. That is made up. That is fan lore. Wiimote. Sorry.
Well, I'm a
that
fake
guy.
fan, so I use the Wiimotes.
Tibor says, same here. Second behind 6. By the way, I hope you feel better now, Chris. Long live the Emperor. Tyrant says, hear me out, Rob. Tross is a mess, but so much of Phantom Menace is bad due to the acting. Droid talk, Jar Jar all over terrible before you even talk about the Jake Lloyd parts. All I can say is Alun Malone Matafa. Okay? Yeah, think about it.
Yeah, and however bad that is, I'm not saying it ain't bad. Rise of Skywalker's worse.
Try texting.
That's
that
how
shit.
bad. Hum me one fucking original tune that John Williams composed in Rise of Skywalker, and I can hum you at least fucking one from. Come on, Duel of Fate. Come on, this is not even. It's not even.
Well,
you're gonna
I might be
get us a
biased because
DMCA.
I know the score of
She
the
knows
Rise of
it.
Skywalker quite well.
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no
I mean,
one's
if you
listening to
listen to the
Rise of
score-
Skywalker.
Pretty much everybody here listens to the score a bunch, and
JJ doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't. No. The difference is that if the bad moments in the Phantom Menace are so bold that you do remember them, and the bad moments in the Rise of Skywalker are so lukewarm that you just forget it entirely for the most part. It's just like things. So I think you could come at something being bad for you from 2 very different angles, and those movies just happen to be on the opposite side of the spectrum of those reasons, at least for me anyway. But I still like it. It's weird though. It's complicated. I still like the movie.
Phantom Menace gave us pod racing games.
Yeah,
Like it gave us Battle for Naboo on the
it has
Nintendo
nothing to
64.
do with
Rise of Skywalker.
No, you're talking about gratitude in gaming, and that's a different topic for me here. Gratitude in gaming
But
is Phantom Menace gave us a lot of video game content that I love. Jedi power battles, fucking respect. That said, episode 9. We lost her. Episode 9, like I said, for me, it's very even and flat and even. It doesn't have a lot of peaks and valleys with the content,
Let me tell you a little Rob gripe with that film, right? That I haven't brought up yet. I had always wanted to see a gold lightsaber on film, and they fucking ruined it. Not ruined it, but what I say is they didn't capitalize. Like she's at the end, it's gold. Like how great would that be at the end? She was fighting with the gold saber against I don't know, Emperor or whatever. Emperor doing some crazy wild, final Super Star Wars style moves. Like his corpse is flying around and shit with lightsabers. It just doesn't do anything.
She should have left Octu with there being some kind of issue with the sabers, and she should have turned it into the gold one for the end battle. I could agree with that. I think that
Octu sounds like a sneeze.
Mm-hmm.
Octu.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, most of the planets I came up with when I had.
I love hearing Meg's little
issues.
laughs.
Yeah.
Chris says, Rob,
check a little bit.
you can have every racket I have smashed during my career, but you have to pay for the shipping. Ha ha ha. Last, he wins. He wins. Soundwave says, I do like the drum roll. That is the intro again, right before Star Wars comes up. So,
Which
yeah.
one?
Tibor says, people want different things from movies. I think the whole good, bad verbiage is inappropriate. We like some things and don't like others. I honestly don't think there's much objectivity in rating art. Yeah, that's kind of my perspective too. That's why I ultimately I'm happy when something I like wins an award, but I also think, but it fucking matters. At the end of the day, it's like,
as a full-time artist, I would just like to say, would you tell every one of my art directors and editors that you can't objectively rate art when they make me redo shit because it's horrible? I've literally had to remake whole things because they're like, this sucks. I'm like, objectively, I think that we're like,
Yeah,
you can't really,
but-
give it an opinion. Like, no,
Like,
you
no.
can't.
Fuck you. That's your opinion.
No. You mean? I mean, you can, but I mean, objectively, Tibor could love the Phantom Menace and Episode 9. I think those are the 2 best movies ever, and there's nothing we can do about that. Like that is an objective.
I can throw
truth.
a tantrum. I
Yeah.
can do that.
That's
You know
true.
which movie doesn't get enough love? Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones.
Well, I did say that was actually a special movie for me because I was in a relationship where it was like it was a forbidden love, and we even questioned about having it be secret.
I'm horny. Who cares?
Oh, fuck you,
Oh god.
But
bitch.
the chance for that film to get its love was with the Boba Fett miniseries. Like that was the.
So what you're saying is like it was like Anakin and Padme.
Yeah, my situation, yes,
Hmm.
totally. So that's why I find it.
That's sweet.
It has a soft spot in my heart.
it is kind of more fun when it's a little secret too.
Yeah,
It's a little bit more fun,
a little bit.
for a time. Not when you have to keep it up.
And actually, the person that my
Hmm.
boyfriend at the time actually sent me a courier package of episode 2, like Lay's potato chips, like T-shirts and stuff like that, all in a bag in a box
Well,
that day.
you know,
The
I,
2000s were the best years for Star Wars merch and
They were
promotionals and things.
some of them, yeah.
I based the entire relationship of Anakin and Padme off Stephen and Kate. So, it's a forbidden life.
Are you making fun of me?
What? No. Temple of Doom, Max. Temple of Doom.
Okay.
It's a beautiful film.
Max, can I entice you with a Star Wars pun?
Yes, please.
What did Han Solo say to the waiter who recommended the haddock?
What?
Never sell me the cod.
Stupid.
Oh my god.
Meg could have wrote those Star Wars Valentine's cards we all got.
She
You know what I
is
mean?
the writer of the Star Wars Valentine's cards.
Yeah, she's good.
You guys, has everybody here seen Wayne's World when he has the
Yes.
crazy girlfriend?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the crazy girlfriend from Wayne's World, and I broke up with her the night before. It was right around the time the merchandise for Attack of the Clones had come out. I broke up with her, and she stayed that night. And I was like, yeah, I think I was kind of like, I think you should go. And then she's like, can I stay? And I was like, yeah, I guess. I really didn't want her to. But it was really awkward. So we go to sleep. I wake up in the morning and I remember that blue box of Attack of the Clones cereal with mulleted Obi-Wan Kenobi on it. And I'm eating and eating my breakfast cereal. And she comes out and it's like nothing ever happened. It was like we never broke up.
Oh my god.
She completely was doing a rewind. It never happened. And so she just she starts talking to me and I just don't say anything.
That's
I just
weird.
keep eating my Attack
What
of
a
the Clones cereal.
Crazy person.
My
I just keep
God.
eating it. I just keep eating it. And then she's like, talk to me.
Oh
I
my
look at her. I just keep eating that Attack of the Clones cereal. I fucking start putting another bowl because I know I need to just look at this cereal. I cannot get roped back in.
Oh my
And
god.
I just do it. And then,
Well,
and then
Jason,
she tells everybody I didn't break up with her. I just went silent.
it's hilarious.
I pick them. I know how to pick them.
Yeah, you do.
I had a similar situation where a girl moved in and just didn't tell me. I remember looking around. I was on a rant about some stupid shit because I've been doing this forever, and I looked around my room. I look around at her stuff, and I'm looking. I'm like, when are you taking all your stuff home? And she goes, yeah, about that. I got a lot of stuff here. Surrounded. You got more stuff here than I got stuff. And she's like, yeah, I don't really have a place. So
It would be kind of cool if she started paying you rent without you knowing. Just looking into your bank account, whoa, I got like an extra $1,000 in here.
Oh my god.
Sheev the Wise just wrote me and said, Sheev says, JJ hated on the prequels so much it made him afraid to show his own sticks on the sequels. Palpatine definitely should have had a duel with Rey.
I agree. Shiva's based.
Yeah.
We did a
Mhm.
live stream yesterday.
Yeah.
That's an interesting name. What do you think of that?
Even Shevens. That's what I say. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think like it's like what happened at the end of episode 9 was like when you write on the page and then epic stuff happens and you have no fucking idea how it's going to be epic. Like then it's just trust me, it's like real epic. And then
Didn't George do that?
No, he never wrote. No, he usually wrote things out. He usually had a catalyst.
Like a battle ensued or something like that.
I just
Yeah.
put in Joe Johnston or I put in Ben Burt. He can work that one out. That's for sound.
Well, you know,
And then-
the only time that so here's what's funny is in From Star Wars to Jedi, the making of a saga, he says when, sister, you have a twin sister. He says that the script said something vague. It didn't say that. But I actually had an opportunity to enter an archive and read his actual draft that was used to film that scene, and it wasn't in there.
He's
They just-
like,
No, there was no sister, but there was nothing else either.
it was just very vogue.
It was just like in the version he just finally goes, fuck it, I gotta fight, and rushes in. So Lucas kind of says maybe he always intended to write a line, so that's why he couldn't remember. But if anybody ever watches From Star Wars and Jedi and they're wondering about that, there is no line. There just simply wasn't one.
Because
So.
somebody
Damn it,
snorted it
Jason.
all.
Yeah.
Jason, I think you should play the Ray clip again.
Do you think is it that time?
I think it's
I'm
relevant.
horny, who cares?
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, here
Rounds
we go.
off the
For
sound.
our next exercise, I would like you to enter me for 30 thrusts. Let's do that 10 times. And continue until I say we're done.
Wow.
Yeah.
her angry American voice is a little Hillary Clinton. I'm just putting it out there.
Oh no. There goes my enjoyment.
Sorry,
of that
man.
clip.
but-
Star Wars
Shout out
Santa's
to the
like,
90s.
all right, because Star Wars Santa is so
Oh!
horny for Hillary Clinton.
Oh, bucket list, Jason. Oh, bucket list. Oh.
When Santa saw that moment, this happened.
Oh, yes.
What did I do? Why am I?
Ooh la la.
Yeah.
You know how my
It's
cats
really
my
creepy.
cats have been howling? I had to start joining them. Yeah.
I haven't heard him today,
No,
honestly.
how you had heard them. Like
Oh yeah.
even yeah. I had to join them.
Wait, you made him into like?
No, I
Floating
had to join
bead?
howling with them.
Oh, okay. So you didn't like conjoin them like a
No,
like a
the
weird
brother and sister.
Oh,
Jose.
Jesus.
Okay.
Cronenberg.
Foden Bede, the pod race announcers. No?
No.
Little Rise of Skywalker's not as good as our movie.
Oh no! God, you know what sucks is my friend. She had Greg Proops on her show. On what do you call it? My favorite. I want to say My Favorite Murder on Mulder She Wrote. He had Greg Proops on Mulder She Wrote, and he, when I had my podcast was Now This Is Podcasting, he said it, but he said it all backwards. So I tried like editing it. I had the pod race announcer going like, I can't remember what he said. Podcasting now, this is it. Or so it was like completely backwards. And I was like, man, I was really grateful. It was really cool of her. But yeah.
this is what I had to deal with, Jason. It was like 3 days of this shit. He
Greg
just
Proops.
reads everything.
I love when
Yeah,
people
that's
misquote
horrible.
Star Wars, but like so much so that it's like a new quote.
Right?
It becomes memeable.
That's
Like, I
how I
saw
came up with
someone
Yoda. They
On
couldn't say
Twitter,
his
who
shit
did
right.
like a really British version of the Anakin versus Obi-Wan conversation.
Uh-huh.
Like when Obi-Wan's like, "You're my brother," and he was like, "You was my brother, fam." It's like that's not what he said.
You was my brother, fam.
Yeah, he wanted to take the piss out of him too. Yeah, that's a common phrase. Yeah.
And his name is
Ali G did a
Paul.
rewrite of Revenge of the Sith. What was that, Max?
I have a so when I went to London one year. I met this guy and he's like, I asked, "What's your name?" He's like, "It's Paul." And I said, "Paul?" And he's like, "Paul." And I said, "Paul?" He says, "Yes, Paul."
Pull my finger? Did he
No,
did he
it was
fart?
Paul. It was Paul, but they
Oh.
didn't say it Paul.
Paul.
They said, yeah, Paul. Paul. So
Oh.
and I was saying Paul. He's like, "No, Paul." I'm like, Paul.
All right.
I had to say it slow, and I just kept thinking of like a little girl who had like really chapped lips saying "Paul." I don't know why. Weird. Who's laughing? Is that Rob or Meg?
Oh
Oh, no,
I
that's
love that
Jason.
story.
No, Nolan says, "Damn, this hate for Rise of Skywalker is bumming me out. I have a good time with the movie, but the criticisms have exhausted my enjoyment." I'm sorry, Nolan, but yeah, it is.
Aw. Oh, no one cares.
No, I care what Nolan has to say. He's a channel member. I care what all my channel members
I'm a
have to
channel
say.
member, and his channel, see your channel
Oh,
member.
shit! Does not,
I
don't know what
say
to
it
do
doesn't
now.
fucking matter.
Oh no! Now what do I do?
I think secretly Rob thinks The Rise of Skywalker is a cinematic masterpiece.
I think so too. I think he
He
loves
likes
it.
it. He
What?
likes it.
You know what, Rob? I think you are setting yourself up for a what I call my Back to the Future Part 3 problem. And that's every time I watch Back to the Future Part 3, I say it's really bad. And then I watch it, I'm like, it's not actually that bad. I talk to myself into that being bad, and then I see it again, and then I'm back to square one.
Back to the Future 3 has Mary Steenburgen. All right, Virgin. Maybe say the last name, right? I could watch
She's
her all
not
day
hot
long.
yet.
All right?
She doesn't get hot.
No, she was always hot. She was hot in time after time. No. You're
old
fucking
hot. It's
wrong,
weird.
dude.
It's weird.
No, she's not old hot. She's
old
like
hot.
in my top 3. No, you're nuts.
Of old
You're nuts.
hot, maybe.
Mary,
No, of
who?
all time. Mary
Mary
Steenburgen.
Steenburgenson.
Yeah. So God, that's hot. You know the song in that movie that Lady Gaga did with the raccoon guy,
No,
Rockstar, whatever that fuck. What was
never
that
She
heard
song?
wrote
of
it when she was old and hot.
I never
Yeah.
heard of it.
So Mary Steenburgen wrote that song. She won the fucking thing for that.
I heard of that.
She got hit on the head, and
I
then she
heard-
got super musical inclined.
Did you tell me
It's
this?
Crazy.
I think you told us this story.
We talked about it before.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that's awesome though. I
Yeah,
never
it's
heard the
crazy.
song.
It's
Yeah.
a crazy story.
I keep hitting
Whenever
myself on the head,
someone
hoping
mentions
I'll be able to
Lady
dance.
What was that? What was that?
Whenever someone mentions Lady Gaga, I think it's 2008 all over again.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're breaking Tony Bennett's heart.
Tony Bennett. Oh, I forgot about that.
that's all right.
But
Yeah, I broke
okay,
the house. I made it real somber, didn't I?
Yeah,
Soundwave says,
But-
I always figured episode 9 was made after they found Carrie's drug stash and they got really high and said, "For Carrie!" And then they finally came down. They were like, "Whoops, we forgot the final act."
Well, that's
Yeah.
bloody dark.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm liking Soundwave a lot. He's jumping right up the top of our followers. He's up there.
in Houston we actually
he's
have
surpassing
Go ahead.
Revenge Guy at this point.
we have a record store still. There's I think it's the only one in Houston or the second one. It's called
Mhm.
Soundwaves.
Ah,
I wonder if
Nice.
this is the same Soundwaves.
it is. It is. He said, "Go in there and quote the show to them and just look at
I
their
will.
faces."
I will.
No. Nolan says, "Sure, my wait,
Make sure
laughing
my money
ass off.
stays.
Make sure my money stays away from Rob."
Oh.
Yeah, Rob.
Okay, Santa's comment. I just have Palpatine's voice saying, "Ah, yes, a Disney shill."
Code is debugged. Heading back out with Dad to get his truck. Catch you all later. Whoa.
Hit you on the
Wait.
flip side.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
So wait. So Grandpa Santa? He's hanging out with Grandpa Santa? Santa Claus has a grandpa? Has a dad? I
So
guess
the
that
prophecy says.
Haven't you
Whoa.
seen Elf?
That's true. Soundwave
Even
says, "I live
daddy's
in."
got a daddy.
Okay.
I almost lived in Michigan for a time after college. I won a Teach for America scholarship, and they sent me to Michigan, and they wanted me to teach in the blackest school in the state, and they don't want to hire you, and I get it. I totally get it. They want to hire that. They feel that black teachers are better for black students in that environment.
Mhm.
So I kept having to go and interview for jobs that, and then they kept going like, well, we're going to try to put you over here now. And then eventually I got something else. I was like, you know what? I've got to pass at this point. But I almost lived in Michigan. I went down there like 2-3 times.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't though. I'm
Why?
glad
They love
glad I
to
didn't.
kidnap their governors, Jason. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, well, that sounds fun. Governor Price.
That should happen here.
That happened there too?
No, it should.
Oh,
No,
I
don't say
shouldn't
that,
say
Max.
I shouldn't say
Don't,
that.
Max,
I'm just
don't
kidding.
say
I'm
that.
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Don't
kidding.
we would not wish Ted Cruz on anybody. Is it Ted Cruz? Is Ted Cruz the governor?
Ted
It's a
Cruz is
joke.
Don't say
monster.
that.
He's an
Don't.
asshole,
They
though.
take this shit real serious,
It's
Max.
a joke.
It's
It's a
not-
joke.
They don't
I
joke.
can't stand Ted Cruz.
Oh my god! I just can't.
Yeah.
As it
Don't-
goes dark.
No, I wouldn't wish Ted Cruz on my worst enemy. You know,
Me neither.
you know that guy.
Same.
That guy farts and it smells like fucking raw fish, like raw stinky fish. You know, he's just that kind of guy.
No, he just
anyways,
doesn't. He doesn't remember what he ate.
but yeah, fuck Ted Cruz. Anyways, so I
Fuck
think we're.
that puto.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Yeah. What did you say? Fuck that puto? Did you go there?
Yeah.
I respect that.
I like that. She's using Spanish.
Little Chicano humor for you, Jason.
Hey!
Now that's what I'm used to.
I think your Star Wars Santa is devolving into Dexter Jetster. Hey, Kenobi! You're like you're almost there. You're getting real close. You're getting real close.
Once I get hemorrhoids, I'll be there. Ho, 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 ho.
Kenobi, old buddy. All right, I think we'll call it a day on that.
Sure.
I think we did it. Meg, thanks for coming and hanging out with us on short notice. And
Yeah.
Thank you for having
It
me.
was fun.
Yeah.
It was great to speak to you.
Yeah, everybody check out Meg's show. I think Meg's show is like the best show to check out in the mornings if you're in the US because it's already done. It's polished. She's a great narrator, and she doesn't really miss anything that you will want to see. And
It's how I prep for this show.
It's
It
how I
is.
start off my
It's
mornings
serious.
every day.
Yeah,
Just saying,
Yeah.
Meg. Yeah.
I'm touched.
Yeah.
I do have a pun for you.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Why didn't any of Luke Skywalker's marriages last?
Why?
He used Obi-Wan's advice. Use divorce, Luke.
I
I'm horny. Who cares?
Jason.
all right. Well, Max, so when are we seeing you next, Max? Are we seeing you tomorrow? Are you
Yeah.
back? Okay.
I should be getting my car back maybe sometime this week, hopefully, or maybe early next week.
All right.
So if you don't mind,
Oh no, we'd love to have you tomorrow. So
Sure.
we'll see.
it's
Max
nice to have
tomorrow.
something to do.
Yeah, and Rob, are you doing any streams right now, or are you doing no streams right now?
I have no set schedule. So if you'd
No-
like
no-
to follow me on social media. You'll get a link whenever I stream. But I have no set schedule.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks to everyone who's a channel member for supporting the show. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow should be a regular show with everybody can be on. Chris Spreezy will be on, and he better be better because or everybody wear your mask. Kidding. But
Oh, I will.
no, I'm afraid of getting it over the internet. Yeah, but we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks everyone who's a channel member and all that kind of jazz, and we will see you then. Bye. Thanks,
Bye.
Meg. Bye, Max.
Thanks, Meg.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Rob.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go.